Hey guys, this is Captain for reporting for duty for another episode of Cover Battle. Today we're going to go back to 1991 and the issues of Captain America, back when they were only, $1. And this is during a period of time where they were doing a couple a month. You know, a lot of people love this throw out, well, Captain America was never a big seller, which is not true. Captain America actually was a strong seller. He was never usually the top 10, hardly, but he'd be in pretty consistently strong. So strong enough to always keep it going. Until the last, couple decades now, Captain America hasn't been selling as well, and so they resort to these gimmicks and it just doesn't work. So what we do with Cover Battle is pretend you're going in to the comic shop here for the first time, or whatever time, and you only have enough money to buy one issue. We're going to look at 3 issues, and based on the cover art alone, your goal is to pick which one, and let me know in the comments which issue you'd pick and preferably why. So as you have here, this is a Ron Lim art. I like Ron Lim art for Captain America, especially during this time period. Ron Lim, I don't know, you didn't see him much for the last few years until just recently he started pop up doing more artwork. I have to say, I don't think I like his artwork as much today as I do back then. He was more detailed back then, and maybe it's because of page rates or whatever it is, but I really liked his art back then. And look at here, we got Captain America. He's holding on. Captain America can't fly, and he's above water, so you know he's in trouble. I really like that. Issue 389. So that was a part 3 of 6 of this particular series. A really cool time, in my opinion, for Captain America. I enjoyed reading Captain America a lot during this time. Next one we're going to look at is issue 390. And this one is another, in my opinion, a really cool cover here. Look at that. This is part 4 of that series. Easy, ladies, there's plenty of us to go around. Paladin. That's so Paladin there. And look at Cap's response to Paladin. Shut up, Paladin. And they're surrounded by all these super powered women. Now, once again, proving, I love it how some people that don't read comics love to claim there wasn't enough women in comics, there wasn't enough diversity. Look at this. Explain to me where there's no diversity there. And this wasn't a soapbox stand complaint, but once again, they have tons of characters. They just got to learn to use those characters. This is a common issue today. So this is issue 390. Once again, just $1. I like the cover. They're clearly in trouble. They're going to probably get a beat down, and it's going to be a tough challenge. You got to love that sarcastic Paladin there. And the last issue of this episode of Cover Battle is, let me get the backing board here out of the way, there we go, is issue 391. Now look at this one. Cap's in this vat, and there's going to be some trouble, and so is Paladin. And look at him, you can see it's like he's really struggling, really hurting, and he's being, so you know what happened last issue. They were caught, clearly didn't win that battle if this cover's true. Now I do say if this cover's true, but I will say back then in this time period, usually the cover was something that happened in the comic book. You're going to see that cover, you know something's going to be involved with this. Whereas today's covers, not so much for the last probably decade, matter of fact. The cover doesn't always appear in the comic book. It might have nothing to do with the story. They're more just fancy art. And that's one of the cool things about this time period, I'd say, 2000 and earlier, is you get an idea of what the story was going to be in the comic book. Because the truth is comic shops didn't like you to go there and flip through the issue very much, especially if you're going to sit there and read through it. There's a term called burn stealing. You can look that up your own. It's not burning it digitally down to a disc or anything. It's a different concept from a different time, and they just didn't like that. And it makes sense, because if you sat there and read the comic book, you might not buy it, right? So we had to buy it based on that, so they'd have them sealed up. Now, if you went to a spinner rack, you could probably get away with that, but even then, sometimes I didn't like you standing around flipping through too long through the comic book, so you had to make your choice. So with that said, we have 3 issues. We have 391. I'm going to move that here. We have 390. I'm going to move that here. I'll make sure they're all in the frame here a little bit more in a second here. There we go. So here's our 3 issues today that are up for battle. 389, 390, and 391. Now looking at them, I can say this one, the colors really pop and jump out. So that gets my attention a lot there. This one, I always like ones where they look like they're in big trouble, the bunch, but for some reason the white background is just not enough. It doesn't make it pop to me. Otherwise the art's fantastic. It probably took the longest to draw this one or this one, because that's a lot of characters to draw. And this one just goes, oh man, he's in trouble, and looks really cool. So for me, it's going to be between $389 and $391. Ooh, that's a tough call for me. Being Paladin's in it's another draw. I like reading books with him too, but I don't know. As much as I like the artwork, the bubbles and everything on this one, I think I'm gonna go with $389. It's just something about the colors on this issue that make it pop. Now the perspective point, by the way, is a 1-point perspective from right here at her toes, and if you drew out lines, you'd see everything size-wise is based on her toes, which is really cool for that perspective there. Where Cap's one would probably be around on this issue, would probably be around here. This one would be about dead center and branch out. If you're talking about perspectives and artwork and drawing. Yes, I used to have some art background. I got hurt. That career went out the wayside, but that's okay. So out of me, I'm going to take a $389. But my question is to you: is which issue would you pick? That's the real challenge. Which issue would you pick for this episode of Cover Battle? And tell me why in the comments. Once again, I want to say thank you to everybody. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It's a way to really help this channel. If you find yourself in a good position, you want to help this channel even more, because I do not monetize this channel. This way I can say anything I want. I don't have to worry about demonetization. No, my monetization is strictly 100% based on my Patreon Subscribe Star supporters. Are you supporting? You help the channel. So even with, say, you have $1 a month, that's greatly helpful. You also get additional videos that nobody else gets. And on top of that, I have a music catalog in there. I'm putting music in there. I think I'm up to 8 songs that you can use for any of your videos, not having to worry about any of the liability issues to that. I've got to take care of. I own the rights to all those, and I have open permissions for anybody set up for that, so you don't have to worry about that either. So you get free songs for your own videos, or you can even use them for ringtones. I had somebody recently go, "Man, this make a great ringtone." I said, feel free, take it. It's yours to use in any way you like in that regard. Alright guys, thank you so much. And once again, I'm not just trying to get money. If you can't afford to help by Patreon or Subscribe Star, just liking, subscribe, leave a comment helps too. Helps drum up the numbers. It helps me get, sometimes companies contact me, want me to review something. And by the way, if I do get that, I always let people know how I got that. And I still always give my 100% honest opinion. Alright, well thanks. I blabbled on long enough. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, notification bell. Till next time, keep it frugal.